For millions of adults, their dog isn't just a pet anymore, it's their safest emotional relationship. You come home, and before you can even put your keys down, there's someone already moving toward you. No questions, no expectations, no performance required, just presence. And in that moment, this specific, quiet moment, something in your chest releases that you didn't realize you've been holding all day. You didn't have to say the right thing. You didn't have to explain yourself. You didn't have to be okay. You just had to arrive. If you're someone who genuinely feels safer around your dog than around most people in your life, who cancels plans without guilt, but would never miss your dog's feeding time, who describes your dog as your best friend and actually means it, this isn't quirky, this isn't avoidance, and it's not something to be embarrassed about. Your brain has a very specific, very understandable reason for what it's doing. America is lonelier than it has ever been. Not figuratively, clinically. Dr. Vivek Murthy, the U.S. Surgeon General, declared loneliness a public health epidemic, noting that millions of adults feel emotionally disconnected despite being constantly surrounded by people. Despite texts, notifications, group chats, social feeds, despite never technically being alone, and yet, profoundly alone. This is the world that created the dog-centric person. Not isolation, not misanthropy, not some failure of character. A world that became emotionally exhausting in a way that nobody fully named yet, and a relationship that offered something quietly radical in response. Relief without conditions. Think about what modern human connection actually requires. You send a text and wait sometimes for hours, not knowing what that silence means. You read tone and punctuation. You wonder if you said too much. You perform a version of yourself at work that's slightly different from the version you perform with friends, which is slightly different from the version you perform with family. Every room has different rules. Every relationship has different stakes. And most of the time, you're managing all of it while also managing yourself. The emotional labor of being human around other humans is enormous. And for some people, not broken people, just sensitive, perceptive, often deeply feeling people, that labor accumulates. The nervous system starts treating social interaction less like connection and more like maintenance, something to manage, something to recover from. Your dog doesn't do any of that to you. Your dog's affection is not conditional on your mood, your success, your appearance, or your usefulness. It does not fluctuate based on something you said 3 weeks ago. It does not require translation. There is no subtext, no performance, no test you didn't know you were taking. This is not a small thing. For a nervous system that has been quietly bracing for years, this is everything. Research from Azabu University, led by Miho Nagasawa, found something remarkable. When you make eye contact with your dog, just looking at each other, your body releases oxytocin, the same bonding hormone that fires between a mother and her newborn child. Not metaphorically, biochemically. Your body registers that relationship as safe attachment. Gregory Burns at Emory University took this further. Using MRI technology, his team found that when dogs smell their owner's scent, the brain's reward center activates. Not food, not toys, you. The scent of you is neurologically significant to them in the way that few things are. And researchers at Queen's University Belfast documented that dogs can detect physiological changes in humans, shifts in cortisol, changes in breath, subtle emotional signals before the person themselves has consciously registered them. Your dog often knows you're not okay before you do. That's not a pet, that's something closer to a witness. But here's the part nobody tells you. The reason dog-centric people often bond so deeply isn't just about what dogs offer. It's about what certain life experiences have quietly taught the brain to need. For many people who find themselves emotionally closer to their dog than to most humans, there is often a history, not always dramatic, sometimes just cumulative, of emotional inconsistency. Relationships where love came with conditions. Environments where affection had to be earned, or where the rules kept changing. Moments where trust was extended and then quietly broken, not always maliciously, but broken nonetheless. The brain learns from this. It is efficient. It begins to associate human closeness with unpredictability. And unpredictability to the nervous system is not neutral. It is a low-grade threat, something to monitor, something to protect against. Dogs are consistent. Dogs are predictable. Dogs do not have bad days that they take out on you. They do not rewrite history. They do not go quiet for reasons they won't explain. For a nervous system that has learned to stay alert inside human relationships, a dog is something the brain has never quite found elsewhere. Something it can finally fully set down its guard around. Psychologists who study attachment describe what's called a secure base, a relationship or presence that makes a person feel safe enough to exist without armor. In healthy human development, this is supposed to be a person, a caregiver, a partner, a close friend. But secure bases can be lost. They can be complicated. They can come with conditions that slowly erode the safety they once offered. For many dog-centric people, the dog has become that secure base, not because humans were failed entirely, but because the dog offers something specific that is difficult to find now: unconditional consistency. The same welcome, every single time. A relationship with no bad seasons. Your brain doesn't need to be convinced this is real. It already knows. That's why walking through your front door feels different when your dog is there. That's why the weight on your chest shifts when they settle beside you. Your nervous system is recognizing something it has decided quietly and without announcement is safe. This shifts at different points in life. In childhood, a dog might have been the one relationship that didn't require explanation, where you could cry without being told to stop, or sit in silence without it being strange. In young adulthood, when social performance intensifies and belonging becomes complicated, a dog becomes a constant in a world that keeps renegotiating its terms. And later, after loss, after burnout, after the particular exhaustion that comes from decades of trying to maintain human relationships through all their complexity, a dog becomes something almost sacred. Not because the person gave up on people, but because the person grew into an understanding of what they actually need to feel whole. And some of what they need, reliably and without drama, their dog gives them. There's a reason you breathe differently when you're with your dog. Cortisol, the hormone your body produces under stress, measurably decreases in human-dog interaction. The body's hypervigilance, that constant low-level scanning for threat that modern life seems to require, quiets. Your dog is not just emotional comfort. Your dog is physiological regulation, a living, breathing anchor for a nervous system that has been asked to carry too much. In the language of metaphor, other people can be weather. Changeable, unpredictable, sometimes beautiful, sometimes difficult to stand in. Your dog is a room, specific, known, warm. The same every time you return to it. You know what you'll find there. And that knowing, that simple, unglamorous certainty, is one of the most underrated forms of love in the modern world. So if you have planned your schedule around your dog's needs, canceled things to be home with them, talked to them in full sentences, felt genuine grief at the thought of losing them, you are not avoiding life. You are not broken. You are not incapable of human connection. You are someone whose nervous system found something real and held on to it. You are someone who learned, through lived experience, that love without performance feels different, that safety without conditions is possible, that a relationship doesn't have to be complicated to be profound. Your dog doesn't care what you accomplished today, doesn't care what you're worried about, what you failed at, what version of yourself you presented to the world for the last 8 hours. To them, the most significant fact in any given moment is simply that you are there. And for a lot of people, more than anyone talks about, that is the most healing thing they have ever felt. Not weakness, not pathology, just a human being who finally found somewhere they didn't have to pretend, and stayed.